Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. And today is going to be... today's Monday. It's not going to be Monday. Today is Monday in your world. In my world, it's not. But we know that in order for me to have a video on Monday, I have to pre-record it. And with the weekend coming up, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend. So I'm pre-recording this. Last week, I ordered a desk for myself. I ordered it through Amazon. It is a work desk instead of a desk. Hopefully it works out. It is definitely smaller than what I got going on. In case you have not watched the previous videos where I complained about my desk, and I should probably put my glasses on. I also, if my mood or if I seem off, it's because I am on the other side of taking Motrin for a migraine. So I'm suffering pretty bad right now, but I wanted to do this because I'm sitting at home in an empty house and I'm crocheting my fingers to the bones and I'm watching a trial on TV. That's a little bit stressful. Yes, I watch trials and I get all stressed out. I get angry at the lawyers for being incompetent. I swear I missed so many callings. I could have been a really good lawyer. I could have been a really good dermatologist because I have this weird obsession with pimple popping videos. And I have a migraine. So I'm going to put my glasses on and hopefully I can see. I'm having issues with my vision to where my vision is vastly improving in my left eye. My right eye is like hit or miss whether it's going to behave or not. And I'm sitting here right now because I know that I've made more. There it is. There, I found it. I found it. I was going to say, I know that I've made more. I can't show you a couple things. I've made 3 things that the members got, the YouTube members, the people that are paid member of this channel, they got a cute little preview. I'm working on stuff for Premiere Week, which will be... I'm aiming for the beginning of March, and that's something else. While you guys are watching this video, hopefully I will have thought of a second thing to create and start the tutorial on for Premiere Week, because in the past, in case you don't know what Premiere Week is, I'm going to fill you in. Premiere Week is 5 days of tutorials featuring a specific yarn from a specific company. I'm choosing Premiere Yarns, which is why it's called Premiere Week. I love Premiere Yarns, you guys know this. I do 5 varying tutorials. So I go small and then I end the week on a really nice fun project like this gorgeous sweater back there. That is the Autumn Sunrise tutorial here on the YouTube channel. Totally lost my train of thought. So hopefully while you're watching this, I'm filming that tutorial because I have no idea what I'm going to do yet because I got to wait until inspiration sparks. And with me having a migraine, my brain is not sparking anything right now except little like puffs of smoke. I made a couple of things last week and I feel like I have made more than what I have here. Because I remember at one point looking at what I've created and being gobsmacked with myself, like, how did you do all of that? And it was like 2 days I had done a lot. And I'm only seeing a handful of things here, which means I misplaced some of them. And before anyone feels bad, because I tend to get comments that say, like, I wish I could crochet as fast as you. No, you don't. My crocheting fast is sometimes really painful to my body because it's an obsessive thing. So I obsessively crochet till it's done. And sometimes I do that to the fault of my own body. Like, we'll say, hey, we've had enough. We're going to get sick, or we're going to get a migraine, or your back's going to go out, or like, there's all these things my body decides to do to itself to get me to slow down. And also, when I crochet, when I burst crochet like I did this week, there's usually an underlying mental issue going along with that. Anxiety has been rampant the past couple months, and it's very soothing to me to sit and crochet. It helps me to control my thoughts, to control the hurricane that's living inside my body. And it's not out of control. It is not by any means out of control. It is not, I don't feel like it's to an unhealthy level. It's just, it's something I've always dealt with my entire life. Even when I was a little kid, I had anxiety. I had panic attacks very, very young from trauma-induced incidents. And just, I have some of that going on. Nightmares are happening. I'm not sleeping real well. Migraines, like all these things. So comforting myself, I crochet. And the past couple of days, I don't know where the energy is coming from. I decorated the heck out of the house. Like, it looks like Valentine's Day threw up in here. I mean, you guys can see that I did stuff in here. My desk is almost clear. Like, there's nothing here. My laptop is here. The projects I want to show you is here. My planner is here. My new hook case. There's a fabulous hook case that I got from Karen. Don't be a Karen. Or Karen, not a Karen. Karen's not a Karen. Karen is a very, very sweet person who has been a very good friend to me on here. And she bought me this amazing hook case. And if you didn't see it, I'm going to show it to you again because almost all my hooks are in here. And I want to order myself a second one because I saw a couple of really, like, there's so many fabric designs in this. But it holds all of my big hooks. Like, well, not all of them. They're not all in here, but there's quite a few in here. I filled up 2 sections of pages, and then the 3rd page I have scissors. I could fit more hooks in here, but I think I'm going to actually separate them a little bit more so they're not banging on each other. But man, and it didn't even occur to me that they would bang on each other until a couple people were like, maybe you should put something between your hooks. And I'm like, that probably would be a good idea because, and this is not a travel case. Do not travel with your resin hooks in here because if this gets dropped or somebody sits on it or luggage gets thrown on top of it, it's not gonna protect your hooks from banging on each other and possibly snapping. This is not a travel case. This is, I know where all my hooks are and they're organized, finally. I mean, Mr. Cinnamon made me a really cool thing for my desk that has worked, but also, like, I am frustrated with that. And I designed it and he just built it because, like, it doesn't hold as many hooks as it looks like it should, and the hooks are all banging against each other. And I really like this because they're all where I can see them, and it's like opening up like a portfolio to look at all my art, you know, even though I didn't make them. And it stands up, so it's like at the back of my desk, out of the way. Love it, love it, love it. That is an Amazon item, and I will link that again because a lot of you were really interested in that. I also have one thing, a Happy Meal I'm gonna pop out real quick before I show you what we've been working on, because I only got one thing this week and I thought it was cool and I thought it was worth sharing. So this is from, it's very tightly packed in there. This is from CB in Missouri. It's funny because I'm gonna block her. She put Missouri right here. Her address says MO. I actually am one of the few people that know most of my state abbreviations because I've been to most states. The only states in the continental USA that I have not been to is Oregon and Washington. I've been to New York, but I haven't been to most of New England, so Maine, New Hampshire, Connecticut, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, like those. That's it. I've been to the rest of the continental USA. I've been through all like the middle. from Virginia to California and then up most of the middle. So I know my abbreviations because I find an interest. Now, which is funny is I hated geography in high school because to me it was so boring the way they taught it. They taught it on a map and they taught it without, like, I need visual. I need videos. I need photographs. Now, if you had presented it to me in school in a way like, look at what this state features and shown me photographs and like videos and like talked about the state, it would have resonated more with me. And even now, like having traveled through a lot of those states via car, they're not flyover states. They're not. They say they're flyover states because Iowa is all corn, okay? Nebraska's a lot of corn. Literally the name. There are things in those states that you can only experience by being there. And there's beauty like everywhere. Now, I have said in the past that Missouri is misery because like it's really boring along the freeway for a lot of ways, but there are beautiful things in Missouri. Grandma speaks very highly of Branson, Missouri. She really enjoyed a certain steakhouse that is there, and her and Grandpa used to visit there a lot. We haven't explored outside the freeway in Missouri, but I would love to go to the Ozarks. I just think that would be fantastic. And so yeah, I actually do know my abbreviations. I have such amazing stories from certain states. Like we went to Wisconsin and we stopped at a specific cheese house because you have to eat cheese when you're in Wisconsin. You just have to. And it was us and it was the 4 kids. So it was my 2 nieces and my 2 birth children. And we did like a whole country tour the year my dad died and the year my dog died. And we stopped in Wisconsin specifically to go to a specific cheese house. We bought cheese, we bought jams, we bought crackers because at the time I didn't know we had a gluten allergy. And we sat at this little rest area and we had cheese and crackers and jellies and jams and like all the accoutrements that go with like a cheese platter. We went all out. It was a rest stop smorgasbord. It was the best charcuterie you ever saw. Now, we're sitting there at a picnic table and this weird creature comes creeping over at us, and I was scared because I didn't know what it was. It was a squirrel. But squirrels look different from state to state. I'm telling you, in Michigan where I lived, we had black squirrels, gray squirrels, and all brown squirrels. But here in Virginia, our squirrels are brown with white chests. They look nothing like the brown squirrels from Michigan, nothing. And they make way different noises. So the squirrels here in Virginia almost make a meow sound, like wow, wow. And like they're irritating, drives the dogs crazy. Whereas in Michigan, they sound more what you think a chipmunk would sound like. They chatter, that kind of thing. Okay, so we're in Wisconsin and this thing is like, I'm like, what is that? So I did a Google image search. I took a picture of it and I searched it in Google and they're talking about it's a squirrel, but it didn't look like any squirrel I've ever seen. Like it had markings kind of like a chipmunk, but they were like, I don't have my phone in here to show you guys, but it's weird. Look up Wisconsin squirrels. It almost looked like it didn't have ears and it was long and thin, like almost like a weasel. It didn't have like a real bushy tail like the squirrels I'm used to. And his body was very slick looking with like designs. Not like stripes like a chipmunk, but that it was linear dots. I don't know how to explain it. They were weird. And then if you go to the Grand Canyon, the squirrels there, they're like, stay away from the squirrels. They carry the plague. They literally carry the plague. Don't touch the squirrel. And so many people are like feeding the squirrels at the Grand Canyon, right? But those squirrels have really long pointy ears with long tufts of fur, almost like a lynx, the cat. I believe lynx is the right cat I'm thinking of. But like long pointy ears with tufts of, it's crazy. Crazy. Squirrels from state to state vary way differently. And then they have these squirrels. They're not actually squirrels. They have squirrels. Where was it? Was it Wyoming? Wherever Devil's Tower is. I think that's Wyoming. Because we went to Devil's Tower. They pop out of the ground. No, they're prairie dogs. But like prairie dogs are so stinking cute. We got ridiculously close to prairie dogs because right outside of Devil's Tower in Wyoming, there is like just a field filled with prairie dogs, and there's like a boardwalk that walks through, and the prairie dogs are like everywhere, and they're popping out of the holes like that, you know, little pound a groundhog game like that, but they're like popping out and they're skittering and scattering, and like they were making out and like being all lovey and cute. It was the coolest thing ever. Anyway, she sent me this beautiful card. And then she is telling me about the book that she sent me. And she said that there are YouTube videos, but the book is very clear in its directions on this specific design of crochet. I'll show you. She hopes I enjoy it even if I've seen it before. I have never seen this form of crochet before. She loves my videos. She laughs and cries along with me. Each new video is watched with great anticipation and does not disappoint. Thank you so much, CB. So, she sent me a swatch of this form of crochet, which is called Wiggly crochet, which again, I have never heard of. And I've seen a pattern something like this in one of the Crochet World books, I think a while back. And I was like, I'm going to attempt that. And it was like the directions in the magazine were ridiculous. And so I was like, I don't understand what they want me to do. This sounds way too much for my brain to comprehend at the time. But looking at her sample, it looks easy. And I haven't read the book, I've just looked at the pictures. It looks like it's a grid and you surface crochet is what it looks like. That's what it looks like. Because the back is a grid and the front looks like surface crochet and you just like go in and out. So I'm going to totally attempt that. I even have yarn at the ready. But it's really thick and squishy. And this is like a little hot pad, which is fantastic. I love it. I pulled it out. I was like, oh, me and Mr. Cinnamon went in the truck, in his truck to go get it. And I was like, oh, I like the way that feels. And he grabbed it. He's like, oh, that does feel cool. Like it's got a squish to it. So this is Learn to Do Wiggly Crochet. There are charts in here for how to make different designs or to add an accent to a bag. I just think this is fascinating and I've never seen this. So yeah, general directions. It says the mesh base is crocheted in rows of squares. Each square is formed over the square below using a combination of double crochet stitch and chain twos. So it's double crochet, chain two, double crochet till you get the size base that you need. Make this practice mesh base 10 by 10 square as follows, and it tells you how to make the 10 by 10 base. It says that it is a three-dimensional crochet that was popular in the 50s for hot pads. And the final product make it a good insulator. In the projects presented here, we'll also use the thick property of this crochet as cushioning and as pure decoration. And I'm thinking this would be like a really cool bath mat, right? Like on a much larger scale, like stick that at the base of your bathtub. You would obviously need something non-slip underneath it, but I have my rugs in there are the rainbow rugs I made years ago. Do you guys remember the tutorial? I made rainbow bath mats from really thick cotton from Premier Yarns, and I did a tutorial for it, and I don't remember what the name is. It's like rainbow bath mat or something. I still have those in my bathroom. I love them. I would not trade a store-bought bath mat for any of the bath mats that I have in my bathroom. I think they're fantastic. See, isn't that pretty? The only thing I would have a hard time with is the squiggly has to go in a specific direction, and on top of following the squiggly, you have to change color. So I think I would do like this, and I would do a practice where it was just all one color. Just until I got the understanding of, because like I said, it's squiggle and color changes. So, and I really want to make that for Valentine's Day, because I think that's so pretty. That says it's a sachet, but I just feel like that would be something else. I would make something else with it. It's really cute. Anyway, so thank you so much for sending that to me. All right, now let's get on to what I've been making. First thing we're going to cover is last week I showed you my overflowing bucket of scrap yarns. I would essentially like that to be empty. And I even separated out yarns that couldn't go into the blanket. So this is separated, pulled out of there. You would think I made a whole blanket and I pulled out this much that bucket would be empty, which is highly, highly, highly frustrating to me. Like, I am so irritated with that bucket. I'm ready to chuck it. I'm gonna chuck it. Alright, so in my head, I'm saying bad words. So that's why I'm laughing, because in my head I'm calling it things that rhyme with chuck it. So this is stuff like bamboo, cotton, or like high-end yarns that I don't want to just throw in the bucket. Like this little tiny micro mini skein. So I pulled that out, and then I'm working from the blanket, and I'm like, why is this bucket not emptying? Because as you can see, there's a blanket in there, but there's still yarn at the bottom, and I'm getting frustrated at this point. And then I'm like, I started working it, holding, and this is two yarns held together. Okay? 2 yarns held together. And I started off in the center with this cool, whatever. Right? Mr. Cinnamon really liked the look of this, so we diverted. We're making a second blanket. I'll talk about that in a minute. One of these yarns is sparkle. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool, because I have a lot of leftover sparkles from the Lilo N Stitches blanket from last year. I was like, I have a lot of leftover sparkles. So I started, I'm holding 2 together, but I'm holding a solid, and I know you can't really see how sparkly some of this yarn is, but there's a sparkle held together. So the multicolored yarn is sparkle, the black is not. And then there's it's really hard to see on camera, but this one's showing up real sparkly. The whole blanket is 1 sparkle with 1 regular, and some of them are variegated, some of them are solid. It's just scraps. Leftovers, let me stand up. It's rather large. It's rather large. So it's touching the floor, and it covers up over my chest. I'm 5'9", so this is probably a 5-foot blanket easily. I could have kept going and made this like big enough to fit my bed, because I still have enough scraps left over. I ran out of sparkle, and I ran my blanket over. I ran out of sparkle right here. So the last 3 rows don't have sparkle in them. Don't get me wrong, I didn't run out of sparkle. I ran out of sparkle scraps. And it started getting to the point where 2 rows was an entire skein of yarn. And I kept wanting it to be sparkle all the way through. And so I would come in here and grab another sparkle. I have a lot of sparkle. I love sparkle yarn. And I would grab one off. And I'm like, you're not using your yarn. If you're pulling it off the shelf, you're not using the bucket. And it took me 2 days to realize that I wasn't actually emptying the bucket anymore, because I had to have that stupid sparkle in there. So there's a lot of really interesting colors in here. I love the way this looks. I don't generally like the look of these real scrappy blankets. And I made a couple of issues where I forgot to grab a loop, and there's just loops that need to be weaved in, but I'm pulling loops with my necklace. But it's a really good sized blanket, and it's done. My room is almost spotless back here. Can you guys see that? Bentley's bed's back in here. He's the happiest dog in the whole world. Alright, so since I was making that, and Mr. Cinnamon really liked the center of the blanket, he said it reminded him of Disney World and Animal Kingdom Lodge. It reminded him of tigers and zebras and all that stuff. So some of you had said it reminded you of Halloween, which either way I'm good with. I love Halloween. I love animals. So I knew what these 2 scrap yarns were. And they're both sparkly. So the orange, white, and yellow is Hirschner's. This is no longer scrap. This is no longer a scrap. This is a full brand new skein. This is the Hirschner's Halloween sparkle yarn in the color candy corn. And I'm holding it with the god-awful Red Heart Super Saver Metallic with Bentley hair all over it. Oh well, it is what it is. Because I asked Mr. Cinnamon for black sparkle for, I was looking for black sparkle for the Lilo N Stitches blanket. I needed a little tiny bit. And he brought me home 3 skeins. And he's all, are you sure you want that yarn? Because it's Super Saver. I was like, yeah, because there's not another black sparkle yarn on the market that I can go pick up. This is the only one that's in stock in any of our local stores. And I don't like Red Heart Super Saver. It hurts my hands. However, holding this together with another yarn is not causing me blisters. Figure that one out. I don't even begin to understand. So maybe it's diluting the yarn enough that it's not like, I mean, when I'm done with this blanket, that may be another story entirely. So what I'm doing is I'm holding, these two are sparkles, the black metallic and then the Hirschner's metallic. And I wanted to do 2 blacks, but I have, so this is 489 yards. The Red Heart, and I have 2 and a partial, are 255 yards. So if I'm holding it 2 together, I need equal black to the multi, right? And because I only have 2 and a partial, and I kind of wanted to add like a little black every once in a while, I am holding the black metallic with the Premier Just Yarn Value, the really big cake I had left over. That is part of this bucket. So the 2 of those together feel awful. Like, they don't get along. Red Heart and Premier are fighting, and it's, I've only gotten this far and I hate it already. I've literally did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 granny stitches, so 9 times 3 double crochets, and I hate the way that feels on my hands so much. Like, it feels awful. Now, before anyone says anything, I am not going to pre-wash my yarn before I use it. I know that that supposedly helps you, but I'm not doing it, so we're just going to muscle through. Secondary, I can't wear gloves when I crochet because I hold my yarn through my fingers and I control the tension this way. And if I have gloves on, I can't feel the yarn to control the tension. It leads to frustration, and also it doesn't slide smoothly between my fingers, so crocheting is impossible with gloves on. Thirdly, we're just going to get through it. It'll be fine. Because those are comments I always get. Well, can you try this? Can you try that? No, I've tried everything. I promise you, I've tried everything. Cotton gloves, the yarn don't slide. Neoprene gloves, I can't wear neoprene or latex gloves because it traps the sweat in, which causes my immune system to attack my skin, which causes a reaction, and then I get blisters and I have to go to the hospital. So, I know. I used to have to wear latex gloves for my job. I'm hot. It's hot in here. You guys, I'm hot. I have been having like I'm assuming they're hot flashes because I've been having them for a while, but like this week has been horrendous. Horrendous. Plus it's a little bit warm outside, but like I just keep getting like, oh my God, I'm so hot. I'm so hot I might throw up. I might pass out. Like I just cannot. You know what? Matter of fact. This should tell you right here. By the way, that's my Walt Disney World. Couldn't live without these. I have a bunch of them. They are massive. Alright, so while I'm cooling myself off, I may have to open the windows. I also knit a washcloth. Now, this is just knit moss stitch. This took me 3 days. That blanket took me 3 days. 3 days for that whole blanket. This took me 3 days. And that's pretty much been my whole week. 3 days to do this. I just could not. This is why I don't knit very often, because it's so slow. It also was really, really painful. Like I can knit in the round and I can knit just like stockinette. And like no problem. If I'm just knitting, cool. Once I throw a purl in there, it becomes really painful to me. Going back and forth between the knit and the purls is painful to me. Like my hands were cramping. And it also doesn't help that I just finished that big giant blanket. So, yeah. My hand's been hurting. But it's a beautiful washcloth. And this is just knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. The next row, put the knits on top of the pearls on top of the knits. You got a washcloth. And it's got a really nice texture. And what I like about knit washcloths is they're like really stretchy. And I like the way they feel. Like, look at, watch. Like, and all these little holes and bumps creates like a good little sudsiness to it. Like, I love this. I love that. So that's going to go with my other pile of washcloths that need to be put in my bathroom. And this yarn is speckly and cute. It's from Hobby Lobby. I paid a whopping 99 cents for it. It's Crafter's Secret Cotton. Retails for $3. I would never ever pay $3 for this, because it's just basic cotton, but when it's 99 cents clearance out, I will buy all of it. This is the colorway, which has probably been discontinued. Extra Sprinkles. And this other one I showed you is the same stuff. It's also was on clearance for 99 cents. And this is Hot Pink. Like Haute Pink. Haute Couture. Isn't that cool? So, I made a washcloth. I knit a washcloth. I made a blanket. I started another blanket, but oh no. It snowed. And unlike normal circumstances where the snow like will melt that same day, the snow stuck around for a couple of days and little man kept going, I want to go play in the snow. I want to go play in the snow. Okay, we'll go play in the snow. And then you go, do we have mittens? And I'm like, we don't have mittens because the mittens I made him last year didn't fit him. His hand, he has grown a bunch since last year. He is almost 5 foot tall now. And the last major growth spurt that was measured from the doctor, he grew 8 inches in 6 months. So, like, he shoots up when he grew up. My Juju did the same thing. Like, she would be stagnant for a year, and then she would get chunky, and then she would shoot up. And little man does the same thing. I don't know why. It's like they pack on a couple pounds, and then they shoot up and get all skinny again. It's really strange, but that's how my kids grow. That's how my kids grow. He's almost taller than my niece. She is, I think, an inch or two taller than him. So he's going to be past her by summertime. I have no doubt about it. So anyway, he coming in, do we have mittens? Do we have gloves? I said, no, we don't have gloves. We don't have mittens because, like, he doesn't generally need them. And the last really good snow we had where he played outside, he was like 2 years old. So I was like, we don't have any, but I can make some. He's okay. So I got to making myself some mittens. I was like, I'll make his second because his won't take very long. This is not a pattern. This is not going to be a pattern. This is, what is this yarn? Because it's in my Chucky bucket. This says Loops and Threads Textured Twist. It is beautiful. This is kind of like homespun. If you don't like homespun, you're going to hate this. I don't know how anybody could hate homespun. Like, I love it. It's a bulky 5, recommends 6mm crochet hook or needles. That's what I used. Oh no, 6.5mm crochet hook, 6mm knitting needles. It's 90% acrylic, 10% polyester. Wash on delicate, do not bleach, tumble dry on low heat, blah blah blah. Made in India. This is the color 001. Also known as 0902. Why is there 2 color numbers? Well, it's lot number 001. Where the heck is the color name? You know, these new labels are so stupid. They keep changing where they put the color name at. Alright, somebody yell out to me if you see the color name, okay? We're going to scan it real slow. Anybody see the color name yet? You see anything there? Nope, me either. Alright, shout it out. I am not seeing a color name. I just don't even understand. Like, they're labeled, they keep changing where they put the name at, and I'm like, I was sitting in the store, like, staring, like, okay, where is it? I'm reading the whole label. It does not say a color name. Anyway, that's what it looks like. I have some more over there in a different color. I think I'm going to put them together in something. I also have a bunch of I have a bunch of homespun official yarn because I like homespun. I made a whole blanket out of homespun. I love homespun. I always say, like, if you can't, like, if you're going to work with homespun, do a really simple stitch, okay? This is half double crochets. And yes, one glove is slightly bigger than the other because, I mean, I can't make two exact. I just can't do it. And it's only slightly larger. Like, slightly. See that? Slightly. But when I hold it like that, it looks like way different. We'll pat it down a little bit. There we go. Does that look better? My thumbs are also, one is pointy and one is rounded. I don't know. It wasn't a pattern. I was just making mittens. They work. They keep my hands warm and they're really pretty colors. And if you're looking that hard at my hands, like, you shouldn't be looking that hard at my hands. That's weird. So I made these. They're super toasty warm. They got like a really cool texture to them. And I really like the way the colors are. So I made those. And then I started making little mans. And I made a trace for his hand. And I started working it. He's all, can you get me finger holes? I was like, no, I'm not doing finger holes. I can do finger holes. I'm not doing finger holes. If you want finger holes in your gloves, I will buy you dollar store gloves. He's all, well, I'd rather have finger holes. I was like, okay, well, then you're not getting mittens. And I frogged it and put it in the blanket. I was done. And I don't ask for finger holes. I ain't doing finger holes. It's not gonna happen. We don't need no finger holes. You're outside playing in the snow. You do not need finger holes. He literally had socks on his hands. So, like, if you're being picky that you need finger holes and you have socks on your hands, it's not gonna happen. I will go to Dollar Tree. We'll get you some of them stupid little stretchy gloves that don't fit nobody but a little kid. So that's mostly what I've been working on this week. I also been cleaning the heck out of this room, as you can tell. I mean, cleaning the heck out of it. I have been busting my butt, and I really cannot wait for my new desk to get here, and hopefully I can get, because I need a vacuum in here. Like, there's stuff all over the carpet. I need to do something with the stuff that's on my desk that's left over. I need to figure out how we're organizing everything and where everything is going, but I made a lot of progress. I was really super proud of myself. And with me not feeling good, with me, like, this migraine's been going on like 3 days now. And with me not feeling good, I have spent a lot of just downtime, either crocheting or yesterday was really bad. Yesterday I sat on the couch and I woke up to the worst pain in my head. I'm like, oh God. And I know when I wake up with a headache, it's gonna be a bad day. And so I woke up, I got little man ready for school. Juju had to step in a little bit because he's better for her than he is for me some days, and I don't understand why. And I'm really sorry if that's distracting, but like, I cannot. I'm so hot. And it's not that hot outside. It's only gonna be 66 today, and the heat is not on. It's just, I'm dying. I'm dying, guys. What was I saying? I got distracted by the fan. What was I saying? Oh, I came home from taking him, dropping him off at school. Or did she drive him to school? No, I drove him to school. So I came home and I sat on the couch and I fixed myself some breakfast. I just heated some leftover cheese sausages from the night before. And I was sitting there and I wasn't feeling good. And what is happening, part of it is, and I know this is happening, I ate carbohydrates while we were at Disney World, and I ate some sugars. I told you guys this. And I am back to not consuming any of that at home, and I think I'm going through a sugar crash, like really bad. My sugar and my blood pressure are absolutely fine. They are in really good range. And I just think my body is going through withdrawal or something like bad for the sugar, and I know that that's what it is because I ate a piece of chocolate the other day and I instantaneously felt better. So I think this is just my body going through withdrawal. Your body does weird things, like it will withdraw from sugar like as if you're an addict. It really does. And I hate saying that because I'm the daughter of an addict. My mom died. I I come from a long line of addicts, and thinking that my body has a physical dependence on something is very, very hard to deal with. And it's food, so it's something that you need to stay alive. But also at the same time, it's like, I wish I could just quit permanently. Like, it's a very scary place to be mentally. And I think that's part of the reason I'm having like anxiety issues and like all of that, because unless you're there yourself and you've experienced it or are experiencing, you cannot understand how hard it is to deal with. And I think that's a lot of what's going on with me right now. It's just like trauma response to stupid life things that most people take for granted, like being able to eat normal food. And I told Mr. Simon, I was like, I had an amazing time on the vacation. I had an amazing time. We all did. But it's like putting an alcoholic in a bar and then bringing them home and putting them back in rehab. Like, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard emotionally. It's hard mentally. It's hard physically. And the hot flash thing may very well be a sugar response, because it's known to, your body's known to do stuff like this when it needs or wants sugar, or it has had sugar. Like, your body does crazy stuff with sugar. You don't realize how much sugar affects you. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with some of you, because some of you have diabetes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you that don't have diabetes, praise God you don't have it. It's an ugly beast. And I fight it every day. But I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you guys what's going on and what I think is the cause of a lot of this. So, I mean, it's just something I'm going to have to live with my whole life. So this could be hormones. It could be sugar. I don't know. At least my headache is starting to go away, which, oh, thank God. Thank God. Because I don't take anything except over-the-counter Motrin. And when Motrin does not even touch the headache, I don't want to go to the hospital, because I do not take painkillers. I don't do it. I don't. Unless I'm dying, don't put no painkillers in my body. I told you guys before, like, I had a C-section and they were giving me Percocet, and I straight up told them I required Percocet for the surgery of the C-section. And then when I came out of it, I was like, I don't like the way I feel. Don't give me nothing else. And they were like, but we need to manage your pain. I was like, yeah, give me Motrin. I'm good. And then the nurse came in a couple hours later. I was like, I kind of need something for pain. She's all, I'll get you. I was like, can I just have Motrin? She's all, you don't need to be brave. I was like, I'm not being brave. I just only want Motrin. And so she went and got me Motrin. I'm not trying to be brave. I'm just trying not to be an addict. Like, I'm not taking for granted that everyone in my family has problems with addiction. Everyone. I'm not taking that for granted. Nope. I am mindful of that every day of my life. My battery stopped charging. I'm charging all my batteries because, like, this is my last charge battery. I'm making sure I have everything charged. I don't have any more videos to record today, but I'm charging all my batteries so that when I do record next week, which will be this week for you guys because I'm recording this last week, I'm good to go and I ain't gotta, like, stress out about batteries. So, yeah. I made a lot for this past week. I mean, a lot. And that's not including the 3 things I made for Premiere Week that I didn't even show you. So three of those. It's a hat. It's a cute hat. Some of you already saw it. I made 3 hats, a pair of mittens, a full blanket, a knit washcloth, and I started a second blanket today. And that has only been, it hasn't even been a full 7 days. Because in between working the blanket, I'm like, oh, I'm going to put the blanket down and then I'm going to work on something else. And then I put the blanket down. Oh, and this is what I was trying to tell you. It's like, I'm hyper crocheting. I'm not sleeping also, like, at all. And then I come in here and I decorated, like, I'll turn to show you. I decorated all the windows with, like, doilies and cute stuff like that. So my office doors have doilies. Okay. The front door is decked out. I put a Valentine's wreath up. I put a knocker. It's a magnetic knocker from Haunted Mansion. I got it for, like, on clearance at Disney World. It's a knocker like the knockers on the doors in the Haunted Mansion ride. And so that's on my front door, which makes me so happy. It's like, those balls with the spikes on it, but it's a knocker. It's stinky. It's just magnetic. It just sticks to the door because I have a steel door. And then I Windexed the front door and the back door because they both have glass, and the side panels on the front door. And I put up the the paper doilies. I put up clingies that I got from the Dollar Tree. Like, I went all out, and I'm like, I don't know where all this energy is coming from. And then I cooked a really nice fish dinner last night. I made salmon for well, I made 3 different types of fish because I don't really like salmon a whole lot, but Juju and Mr. Cinnamon love salmon, so I made them salmon. Little man won't eat fish that's not breaded, so I made him fish sticks from the Dollar Tree, which he loves. I don't know why, like they... And then I made myself some cod that was turmeric. I marinated my cod in an Indian type spice blend or African type spice blend. I kind of got the recipe from Sanaa, which is a restaurant at the resort we stay at when we're at Disney World. It is African inspired foods, and they have this turmeric marinated fish that's there. They use, it's a white fish, but I don't remember what it is. I don't remember the name of it. It's a white fish. The most similar one that is reasonably priced is cod to it. So it's not cod, it's another one, white fish, but it's similar to cod. It's way better. It's Chilean sea bass. Nope. Something along those lines. It's got a fancy name, but it's like Chilean sea bass, I believe. Anyway, it's a white firm fish, and they marinate it in a turmeric marinade. And Mr. Cinnamon looked up the recipe and realized some of the other ingredients. So I used, last night, I didn't have the recipe, so I just went by what I thought was in it. I used ginger paste, garlic paste, and turmeric. And I put that in with an oil, and I made a marinade. I coated the fish in, I let the fish sit for about 40 minutes. And then I sprinkled a little bit of salt on it, and I put it in some butter in a frying pan. Delicious. And it was really close to the Sanaa recipe, and I didn't measure anything. I just put about a teaspoon of ginger paste, about a teaspoon of garlic paste, and about a teaspoon of, probably more like a tablespoon of turmeric, ground turmeric, and then some oil. I just had vegetable oil because I'm out of avocado oil, and I'm out of olive and avocado oil, so I just use vegetable oil. And it was really good. And I cooked their fish more like an Asian type thing. So I did Korean barbecue gluten-free sauce. I can't have it anyway because it's got sugar in it. So I marinated theirs in that. And they really liked the fish. And then the little man had fish sticks. He was happy. And I cooked broccoli. So I like that. That's a pretty big thing to make. All that food and decorate for Valentine's Day. And crochet half a blanket. And I finished this washcloth yesterday. That tells you how, I want to say manic. I'm not bipolar, but it feels manic-y. It's very, I mean, it's an ADHD thing too. So like you get these bursts where you just go, 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 go. And that's what's been going on this week. It actually, doing stuff like that, keeping myself real busy like that helps me to calm down what's going on in my body. It helps me to calm down. It helps me to not think about, because when you think about your anxiety, you have worse anxiety when you're thinking about it. So I get myself busy. That's how I cope. That's how I handle it. My mom did the same thing. So I'm starting to cool down a little bit. And what's going to happen is when whatever this hot flash is I'm having, once it breaks, I'm going to be freezing. I'm going to be under a blanket. And I know a lot of you, like I said the other day, like I know that most of you are over the age of 60. Just because my statistic tells me your age. And I know a lot of you have either been through this or know what I'm talking about. So like, I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to hide it at all. I'm not ashamed that my body's doing weird stuff. I just feel like we should normalize so much stuff There's so many things that we go through on a day-to-day basis that we just take for granted, like, oh, this is my plot in life, you know, and we don't talk about it. And that's not who I am at all. I talk to like Juju very freely. I'd talk to her about all kinds of stuff. And I used to get criticized for that when she was little, because like, oh, you're talking to her about adult things. She's too mature for her age. Because the belief was to baby talk to your children, and I've never been a baby talker. Whereas Grandma's like, don't baby talk to them, they're not stupid. So I followed Grandma's lead. I'm like, I'm not gonna baby talk her. I didn't talk to her about like inappropriate things, but like if she had a question, I answered it. And I would tell her what's going on with my body so she understood like when it happens to her. And thank God I did, because that child is cut out of me. Like she is, oh my God, I'm telling you. Her physical body reacts to most things exactly the way mine does. Like her back she's gotten some issues with her back skin right now. And I'm like, all right, I know how to handle this. You need to start pulling your hair up, because your hair conditioner, that is leftover residue in your hair, is reacting to the skin on your back and it's causing it to break out. And she's all, but I was like, just put, because her hair's really long and so beautiful right now. Like her hair's more beautiful than it's ever been. It's like she's taking care of it. Like I didn't know how to take care of her hair, because while I have a natural wave to my hair, I've always been a ponytail girl because I get hot easily. And I just don't like my hair. Like my hair has been short for years now, but when it was real super long, it was always up, and then I would get headaches. So, and I'm also not a real girly girl. Like I rarely wear makeup. I don't do the girly stuff, you know. That's not who I am. I feel like a lot of that stuff is a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. Like I'm naturally beautiful. That's what I tell Mr. Cinema all the time. I was like, I don't need makeup. I'm naturally beautiful. That is a good, okay, whether you believe, trust me or not, whether you think I'm beautiful or not, that does not matter to me. I think everyone should feel beautiful when they look in the mirror, no matter what. I don't think you should have to put on all this glitz and glamour to make yourself feel good. And if it makes you feel good, good. Like do it. Do what makes you feel good. Me personally, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I go. Sometimes I put on mascara, sometimes I put on chapstick. I don't bother with all that other crap. Juju loves makeup, and that's more power to her. She loves wearing makeup. She loves dolling herself up. Like she's got the cutest outfit on today. She got a little corset top on with a faux leather jacket. Actually, it might be a real leather jacket. She got it at a reused store. It's brown. It is cute. I don't know. She bought it herself. It was like $18, but it's a cute jacket. So she's got a little corset top on and a leather jacket and some jeans with some rips in it. And her, what are her Doc Marten combat boots. She looks cute. And her hair's all like wavy and stuff. Anyway, the point of that was, she's taking better care of her hair. So she had little tiny ringlets when she was a little girl, like ringlets. The whole back of her head was ringlets. And then her hair's so thick and heavy, like it pulled the weight down. And she would get knots in her hair that I had to cut out. Like it was terrible. And her hair looks straight, but it's textured. And if she takes care of it properly, puts the proper things in her hair, it's really wavy and beautiful, and her hair's gorgeous. She's got my mom's hair in a lot of ways, because my mom's hair was the same way. My mom didn't know how to take care of hers for years. And my aunt, who was a beautician, had to tell her, like, you need to put this in your hair and scrunch it. And then my mom was like, my hair's curly, what? This is crazy. You walk around, your hair's puffy your whole life, you don't realize it's supposed to be curly, or at least wavy. And so she's putting all the right things in her hair, the right shampoos, the right conditioners. She uses argan oil in her hair. It made all the difference in the world. Her hair is gorgeous. The girl's got a head of hair on her. But some of those things causes irritation on your skin. And now I gotta put medicine on her because her back is terrible right now. And that does things for your self-esteem when your back is breaking out real bad like that. And she's finally at the age where she's like feeling herself. Like she tells me all the time, I feel like I'm beautiful. I was like, I've been telling you your whole life you're beautiful. She goes, no, but for the first time I feel beautiful. Well, good. Like, what were you thinking all these years? well, I thought that I was fat, and I thought that I was all these things. You know, everything. Every teenager tells themselves these things. And I'm like, baby, you've always been beautiful. Like, I wish I was as pretty as her. I tell her that all the time. Like, I wish I looked like you. But she looks in the mirror like every teenager and sees what other people tell her she should see. I think she's beautiful. She's like, not only is she beautiful, she's got this amazing heart. We went out shopping yesterday, just to the Dollar Tree, and that's another thing we did yesterday. Like, on top of all the other things I named, we also went to the store, but we only went to 2 Dollar Trees because I wanted to buy the Valentine's Day decorations. And her and I have only been out one time since I broke my ankle at the beginning of October. And so I looked at her, and I'm the one that drove, and usually I let her drive because, I mean, I was trying to get her practice for a long time, and then I broke my leg. It's been her driving. And it was the first time I drove, and it was just her and I was like, this is nice. We haven't been out in a while. And she's all, well, we went out one time. She took me to TJ Maxx, like, I think right before Christmas. No, not TJ Maxx. She took me to Hobby Lobby. I needed yarn. And we hadn't gone out in a long time. And I was like, this was so nice. Like, I needed this day. And we were only gone maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we came home, and she went back to doing her schoolwork because she's in college. And I went back to decorating and working up a sweat. And it was just nice. Like, I really, really needed that time with her. I've been working really hard lately. Like, I mean, just working hard. You guys see it here. And I just really I don't know what I need. I'm giving it to myself. I'm absolutely giving myself what I need. Like, if I feel tired, I went upstairs the other day to take a nap. I only slept 10 minutes, but I felt so much better after I took a nap. And then, I'm sitting here fanning myself, even though I'm embarrassed that I'm fanning myself on camera. I'm sitting here because I need it. I've been spending extra time with, like, Bentley, cuddling with him just because he makes me feel better. And I'm going to get out walking again as soon as it's not raining outside, because it's warm this weekend. It's going to be, I mean, this past weekend, you're watching this Monday, I keep forgetting. It's not Monday yet. It's supposed to be in the 70s, but it's supposed to rain all weekend. So I'm not trying to fall again. But as soon as it's warm and it's not raining, me and him are going to start walking again. Because that's something that I need. Spiritually, need to be outside. Absolutely need to be outside. My battery's almost dead, which means I've been talking for an hour. These batteries only last an hour. So I think I'm going to shut up because we've been talking a long time. I had somebody comment in today's land. I think today's Thursday. They commented on Thursday's video. Like, I always get so sad when you end the video and we say you got to go because I really enjoy sitting and talking with you. And I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that because I know in reality I'm sitting here recording myself. I'm looking at myself in the camera. Actually, I'm looking at you guys. My camera, I could look over there at myself, and I rarely do. I'm looking at you because in my head I'm picturing you guys sitting on your couch, sitting at your kitchen table, sitting at your work desk. Some of you have coffee with me in the morning at your work, which you really should get back to work. I mean, we've been sitting here a long time. I ain't gonna tell you what to do. I mean, if you're getting paid to watch me, more power to you, baby. But I know that in reality I'm sitting here talking to my camera, but it doesn't feel like that, does it? I think a lot of us, we just are looking for a connection. And I definitely feel connected to a lot of you. I feel like you're sitting here listening to me talk. And sometimes I wish I could hear you back, like, because I know some of you talk to me. See, I even heard that. I heard what you said. But I do the same thing. I talk to my TV. Don't worry about it. I was yelling at the court earlier. I was watching a trial. And if you're curious what trial I'm watching, I am watching the trial of Jennifer Crumbly. Her lawyer is a joke. But I'm going to save my opinions on that. That's what I was yelling at, was Jennifer Crumbly's lawyer. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? And then the prosecuting attorney was like, what she's doing is inappropriate. I was like, yeah? Why the judge didn't yell at her, I have no idea, but like, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go back to because the court is probably back in session, which means since it's a live video, I can rewind it and catch up. So that's what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go sit and I'm going to probably work on that tiger. I'm calling it a wild animal blanket. Probably going to work on the wild animal blanket. And I'm just going to chill out the rest of the day. I already have roast beef in the oven. Not the oven, it's in the crock pot. I season it a little differently than I normally do, but I mean that way I don't have to get up and stand at the stove and cook, and then everybody has dinner. And I'm just gonna sit and crochet and watch the court, and I'm gonna drink my water because I didn't bring it in here, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm hot. I'm gonna take my fan with me, and I'm gonna open the window because I'm hot and it's raining. I love a good rainy day. I love it. I like listening to the rain. And I might go sit on the porch for a little bit too and just enjoy. We'll see. Anyway, I hope you have a fantastic Monday. I will see you tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to talk about. I ordered some yarn, you guys. It just shipped, but it's coming from Canada. So I don't know how long it's going to take to get here. I also ordered yarn from Michigan. I don't know how long that's going to take to get here. And I think both of them notified me that they ship today, Thursday. I would love for them to be here by the weekend. Well, it's probably not. My desk is supposed to be here today. Monday today. So next week, this week, I don't know what's happening or what I'm going to have time to do or where we're going to film at, or because I'm going to be moving stuff around in here and that is a lot of work on me. I'm still going to have videos, but I don't know what the content is actually going to be. We do have yarn hauls coming up because I could not resist. I bought myself a couple Valentine's Day gifts. I'm just saying. And I know Mr. Cinnamon always takes care of me on Valentine's Day, but like, treat yourself. Come on, guys. Treat yourself. I say this all the time. Love your damn self. Love yourself. Buy yourself a skein of yarn for Valentine's Day and then just sit and have a romantic day with your yarn. Buy yourself some chocolate, sugar-free chocolate if you're diabetic. Have a nice little beverage. Have yourself a good Valentine's Day. Prepare now. Order it now so it's here by Valentine's Day. Or like, yeah, order it now. Or go pick it up. Go to the store and be like, what do I want to do on Valentine's Day? And then make yourself something pretty. Or work on something really soft. Alright guys, I'm going to let you go. And I've been talking over an hour now. It's over an hour. I shot past an hour. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.